Nityanandam, everyone.
Nityanandam.
This is Makapalika.
And this is Ma'ananda Chandravimala. So we were just actually talking about the sannyas life and how there's so many people from different worlds and how that kind of blends. And so mine is kind of counseling and corporate and life coaching. And what's your background, Ma?
Well, my background is a little bit of everything. I started out as a professional classical musician. I moved into competitive karate. I then moved into meeting my husband and having children, which took about 20 years of my life. But while I was raising my family, I had one of the first and largest wholesale organic foods distributing wholesale businesses on the West Coast. And after that, I moved into scientific research. I've published cutting-edge research in the American Institute of Physics. It's all spiritually oriented. I became a editor-in-chief of a magazine called Super Consciousness, and for 30 years I studied spiritually under a being known as Ramtha, and then I ended up, before I came here, I ended up being a wilderness guide in Alaska. So yes, I've done a little bit of everything. And how is it that we ended up here? How did you end up here?
Part of it was strong seeking, and that everything that I actually had done, it didn't fulfill me. So met lots of masters. I've traveled since, I'm out of high school, and was blessed to meet many enlightened beings and, different levels of spiritual teachers.
Correct.
But it never fulfilled me. It was just, I kept looking for something until I met Swamiji. And I've never met an energy being like Swamiji.
So after you met Swamiji, what was the steps you took to step into Sannyasi? What was the difference between studying with Swamiji and stepping up to become a sannyasi, a monk?
Because it's a whole different level. When you take a sannyas life, then Swamiji brings you into a whole different level, and the work that you do with Swamiji is at a whole different level.
Yeah.
And so the energy and the intensity, which is just quite an amazing experience, has fulfilled that seeking that I've been looking for. So how about you?
My journey was a little bit different. I had been in a spiritual environment for a good 25 years until something happened that made me question the integrity, and that's the word I'll use. I took off to Alaska, had extraordinary experiences, really realizing depth in my spiritual training. But after I returned, I had the question in mind: was my spiritual journey over? Was my life over? Had I achieved as much as I could possibly achieve in this lifetime? And the next thing I know, I'm watching YouTube, and there's this video popping up with a researcher interviewing this guy in a Kavi, and I'm looking at him going, wait a minute, this guy knows something I want to know, right? So I made my way to India, and within 3 weeks, at the end of my training as an Adnavasi, I decided to step into the sannyas life. And since then, which has been a whopping 2 more months, I have even come to realize more and more what the sannyas life is, and becoming more integrated with it, becoming more integrated with Swamiji, and the truth is that for me, I really wanted to make a substantive contribution at this very important time of the planet. I wanted to know that I was a part of something that was going to make lasting change for the planet. And when I heard Swamiji talk about his desire to take the species, to take the planet into super consciousness, and I saw the power within him, I saw who he was and what he was, I knew this was a horse I wanted to bet on. Absolutely. So I jumped, I leaped, I made my commitments as strong as I possibly could. I walked away from my life in Washington State, and now I am learning and easing my way into being a part of this extraordinary adventure that Swamiji has created.
Yeah, absolutely. Just even seeing, like, with humanity, that was one aspect of being a counselor that I couldn't stand, as life was impossible. And so coming here, it just knew that, you know, there was something different, that this is going to make a difference.
Yes.
He's going to have he has this energy that's going to be able to change the world. And so that was another aspect. It's like, you know, this is a solution for the earth and for the world.
Yes.
And so that's one of the other aspects that, you know, had me jump.
Yes, yes, awesome, awesome. Well, we want to close out here. If you're interested in learning more about Swamiji, about His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nityananda Swami, and his objectives, his goals in life, please leave us a message. We'll be happy to entertain your questions. And if you're interested in understanding the difference between being a spiritual adept and stepping up to become a monk, a sannyasi, ask us those questions as well. So checking out here, Nityanandam.